We started this farm in 1974. I grew up in this neighborhood and helped a lot of farmers on their farms as I got old enough, and we started the farm here. As Jason grew up here with us and went to NC State, majored in agriculture, came back, he wanted to farm.
Yeah, I've been farming full-time since 1999 when I did graduate from NC State, and really enjoy the day-to-day challenges and the working with the weather and the crops and things like that, and it's just a really good quality of life. On our operation, the row crops consist mostly of corn, soybeans, and wheat. We also bale wheat straw.
We've also got a registered Angus operation, beef cattle. We've got 4 pullet houses. We grow pullets for Pilgrim's Pride. That's kind of the livestock end of the operation also.
I would say that for our wheat crop, we use NutriSphere whenever we're using liquid nitrogen, which in our area is 30% liquid nitrogen. And we pretty much use the NutriSphere on every application of nitrogen. And also with our corn crop, the NutriSphere goes in with our nitrogen when we're at planting and also pre-plant.
We use NutriSphere also on our fescue for hay and grazing. Anytime we're using liquid nitrogen, we add the NutriSphere in with that also.
On our wheat crop, whenever we use NutriSphere with our liquid nitrogen, not only does it help protect our nitrogen investment, but it saves us time and labor by having our nitrogen already out there and having it protected, and potentially saving us an application by our nitrogen not leaching and volatilizing in our wheat crop.
The same thing applies in our corn crop, and where we really see a benefit in the corn is also we now have been able to apply all our nitrogen pre-plant and at planting. It saves us from coming back and doing a side dress application of nitrogen. So even though we're probably using the same or are using the same amount of nitrogen, we're able to apply it early. We're saving a trip. We're saving that fuel cost, equipment wear and tear by not having to go over the crop. And also, anytime we go over the crop, you're going to run over some of it, you're going to damage some of it. So we're saving some of the plants out there by not having to make that additional trip.
And it's also making us more efficient with the rest of our operation because we're not spending as much time in the cornfield or with the wheat crop, and it's allowing us to be more timely with the rest of our farm by saving that trip. And our first year using NutriSphere was when we were still side dressing our corn, and that was in 2007. And our area in 2007 was a poor growing conditions for our corn crop. And we noticed that we had more nitrogen carry over into our following wheat crop due to the fact that the NutriSphere was protecting it and keeping it in the ground where it was supposed to be. Even though the corn crop didn't utilize it, it was still there for the following wheat crop, which in turn allowed us to cut back on our rates of nitrogen on our wheat.
We do have a no-till operation here, so the NutriSphere is very important in the fact that a lot of our liquid nitrogen is sprayed on top of the ground, and the NutriSphere helps cut down on the volatilization, which takes a load off our mind, because in the past we were concerned that when we sprayed, if we didn't get a rain in a few days, we knew we were starting to lose that nitrogen. We don't have that concern now. With the no-till, we obviously are not able to incorporate it. The only time we put any nitrogen in the soil itself is with the planter at planting when we plant corn. Otherwise that, it's all on top of the ground. So it's really took a load off our mind, and we feel sure that it's saving on the volatilization of that nitrogen.
And also by us being a no-till operation and being concerned about the environment, we also know that our nitrogen is staying where we put it. It's not leaching and running off, and it's also protecting the environment on that side of it too.
We've seen on our fescue, we've seen where the nitrogen has stayed longer, the grass has stayed greener throughout the year, on later into the summer. Also, we've seen where we've applied it on corn in a dry year, that it's there. If the corn doesn't utilize it because of the weather, it's there for the next wheat crop also.
I would say the most important thing we've seen with the NutriSphere is the fact that it does protect your nitrogen investment, I mean, where you put your nitrogen out, that's where it stays. You don't have to worry about it volatilizing, leaching and things like that. We would highly recommend it to our neighbors or anybody that would be considering to use it. It's a product that's very easy to put with your nitrogen. It's easy to apply, and not only does it help protect your it protects the nitrogen, helps protect the nitrogen investment, but also helps protect the environment too.
We use AVAIL on our dry fertilizer, primarily DAP. We utilize the GPS, soil mapping and soil sampling, and application by GPS. But whenever we do that on our corn crop, we do have the AVAIL added. Also, when we sow wheat in the fall, when we use dry fertilizer, we also have the AVAIL added to that application also, which is also the fertilizer that carries over and our soybean crop utilizes as the double crop beans. Where we think we see the biggest benefit is the root mass. We've seen corn that has done better in a dry year than what corn has done in previous dry years. Also, we've seen results that Dr. Ron Heinecker has done here at NC State, where the using AVAIL causes the root mass to be bigger, and anytime your roots are better, your plant's going to be better and healthier. So we feel like that's where we're getting the benefit from the AVAIL. Here at 4S Farms, we recommend using AVAIL and NutriSphere-N.